Hello students, today we are going to discuss about human reproduction part 8. In this we are going to talk about embryonic development and pregnancy. What is embryonic development? The embryonic development is called embryogenesis, that means the formation of the embryo from the zygote. We have seen in the previous part 7 about the formation of the blastocoele. Today we are going to talk about embryogenesis. In this embryogenesis, the inner cell mass, which is called the embryoblast, in the blastula is differentiated into an epiblast and an hypoblast immediately after implantation of the blastocoele into the uterus. This occurs on the 9th day of gestation. The blastocoele, when it differentiates into the hypoblast and the epiblast, the hypoblast becomes the embryonic endoderm and the epiblast is the embryonic ectoderm. The cells between the epiblast and the hypoblast become the mesoderm. Now, what is gastrulation? The transformation of the blastocyst into a gastrula, where the layers are differentiated by the migration of the blastomeres. This differentiation of the germ layers into ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm is called gastrulation. The gastrula is formed by the 2nd week of gestation. Here you can see how a zygote becomes a 4-celled and an 8-celled stage, then it slowly becomes a blastula, then a blastocoele, and a blastocoele becomes a gastrula, and the gastrula differentiates itself into the 3 layers. After the gastrulation stage, organogenesis occurs. Each germ layer, that is the ectoderm, the mesoderm and the endoderm, gives rise to the specific tissue organs and the organ systems. The formation of the organs and the organ systems is called organogenesis. When does this occur? It occurs from 3rd to 4th week of gestation. First, what happens? An archenteron is formed. What is meant by archenteron? Archenteron or a primary gut. How is it formed? It is formed by the invagination of the mesoderm and the endoderm cells during gastrulation. And this invagination of the ectoderm, endoderm and the mesoderm cells results in a formation of an opening outside. This opening is called blastopore. This archenteron, what is its fate? It becomes the cavity of the digestive tract, and the blastopore becomes the future anus. Here you can see in this diagram how the gastrulation, the invagination occurs, and the invagination of these layers results in the formation of an archenteron and an opening outside called the blastopore. What are the extra embryonic membranes? There are 4. One is the amnion, the yolk sac, the allantois and the chorion. Let us discuss one by one. What is the function of these extra embryonic membranes? They protect the embryo from desiccation, from mechanical shock, and help in absorption of the nutrients and exchange of gases. In this diagram you can see the 4 extra embryonic membranes: the chorion, the allantois, the amnion and the yolk sac. What is amnion? Amnion is a double-layered translucent membrane. This amnion is filled with a fluid called the amniotic fluid. The amnion, from where does it arise? It arises from the extra embryonic somatic mesoderm on the outer side and the extra embryonic ectoderm or the trophoblast on the inner side. You can see in this diagram the double-layered amnion. You must practice all these diagrams for your exams. What is the function of the amnion? It provides a buoyant environment, that is, the embryo can float easily. It is not injured by stress or by any injury activity. It also regulates the temperature of the fetus. It provides a medium in which the fetus can move easily around. Now, what is the yolk sac? Yolk sac is a small membranous structure that is situated outside of the embryo. It is attached ventrally to the growing embryo by a stalk called the yolk stalk. What is the function of the yolk sac? The yolk sac forms a part of the gut and it is a source of the earliest blood vessels. The hematopoiesis occurs in the yolk sac during the fetus development and the blood vessels. Now, in this diagram you can see how a yolk sac is formed and attached. Now, allantois. What is allantois? Allantois is formed as a small outpocketing of the embryonic tissue at the caudal end of the yolk sac. The allantois becomes surrounded by the mesodermal connecting stalk known as the body stalk. What is the function of allantois? Allantois becomes a hollow sac-like structure. It becomes filled with the clear fluid that forms part of the developing amniotes conceptus, which consists of the embryonic and the extra-embryonic tissues. What is the function again? It helps the embryo in the exchange of gases and handle liquid waste. What happens to the allantois in the future? It is the structural base of the umbilical cord that links the embryo to the placenta, and ultimately it becomes the part of the urinary bladder. Here you can see the diagram, the allantois. Now, what is chorion? Chorion is the outermost membrane which encloses the embryo and all other membranes and also helps in the formation of the placenta. This chorionic villi is formed from the chorion. The trophoblast cells in the blastocyst sends out finger-like projections called the chorionic villi. They carry the fetal blood, and these chorionic villi are surrounded by the sinuses from the maternal side, and the sinuses contain the maternal blood. The chorionic villi and the uterine tissues form the disc-shaped placenta. Here in this diagram you can see how the placental villi develops. Placenta. What is placenta? It is a temporary endocrine organ that is formed during pregnancy. It is a connection between the fetus to the uterine wall of the mother, and this connection is established by a cord called the umbilical cord. It is the organ by which the nutritive, respiratory and excretory functions are fulfilled. The embryo's heart develops during the 4th week of pregnancy and circulates blood through the umbilical cord and the placenta as well as through its own tissues. What are the derivatives of the various layers that are formed from the trilaminar embryo? The gastrula becomes a trilaminar embryo. The trilaminar embryo consists of ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So what are the ectodermal derivatives? The primitive germ layers serve as the primitive tissues from which all the body organs develop. So the ectoderm gives rise to the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord, the peripheral nervous system, the sensory epithelium of the ear, nose and eye. The ectodermal derivatives also include the epidermis and its derivatives like the hair and the nail, the subcutaneous glands, the pituitary gland, the mammary glands and the enamel of teeth. What are the mesodermal derivatives? The connective tissues, the red blood cells, the cartilage, the bone and all types of muscles, that is the skeletal muscle, the cardiac muscle, the muscle of the gastrointestinal tract, organs of the urogenital system like the kidney, ureter and the gonads. What are the endodermal derivatives? The epithelium of the gastrointestinal tract, the respiratory tract which includes the lungs, the liver, the pancreas, the thyroid and the parathyroids. We are going to talk about how pregnancy is going to be maintained. Normally, human pregnancy lasts for about 280 days or 40 weeks. And this period is called the gestation period. This period can be divided into 3 trimesters, each of 3 months. So the first trimester, the second trimester and the third trimester. Let us discuss about the first trimester. In each we are going to talk about the fetal development, the mother changes and the breast changes. In the fetal development, the first 2 months of pregnancy are called the embryonic stage. What happens during this stage? The placenta, the amniotic sac and the umbilical cord develop during this stage. This is the main period for organogenesis because it is within the 4 weeks. So the organs develop like the heart, the limbs, the lungs, the liver and the external genital organs by 4 weeks. By the end of 3rd month, the fetus is well developed to recognize the external stimuli. Here you can see how a fertilized egg, which is the zygote, becomes a 2-celled on the first day, then 4-celled in 1.5 days, then 8-celled by 2 days, and slowly becomes a morula on the 3rd day. Then it develops into a blastula, then a blastocele, then the blastocele develops into a small embryo with the yolk sac on the 1st month. Then the 2nd month, the slow development of organogenesis occurs, then complete organogenesis is over. What are the maternal changes that occur? The mother may experience nausea. Most commonly, that is called morning sickness, where the mother has nausea and vomiting sensation. And breast tenderness and growth occurs. Alteration in the appetite. The depiction is the mother will have missed periods. There will be breast soreness, increase in the basal body temperature, morning sickness. The mother will have frequent urination. Fatigue and tiredness will be there. What are the changes that occur during the 2nd trimester? The fetal changes, the period is from 12 to 24 weeks, that is 3 to 6 months. So the eyes and the brain continue to develop during this period. The fetus body, heart and breathing begins to follow the circadian rhythms. By the end of 2nd trimester, the face of the fetus is well formed with the features of eyelids, eyelashes, eyes blink, and the body is covered with fine hair, which after delivery is called the lanugo hair, and the muscle tissue develops. Bones become harder. You can see how a 3 months, 4 months and 5 months and 6 months development of the fetus. What are the maternal changes? Weight gain is there of 0.5 kg per week, and the abdominal girth increases. Quickening occurs. What is quickening? Quickening is the perception of the fetal movements that is felt by the mother. So in the end of the 1st trimester, the uterus is up to the pelvic brim. At the end of the 2nd trimester, it is up to the umbilicus. What are the breast changes that occur during the 2nd trimester? The sebaceous glands that are present in the areola, they become hypertrophied and they are called Montgomery tubercles. The outer zone around the areola becomes less marked and irregular pigmented area, and this area is called the secondary areola, which develops during the 2nd trimester of pregnancy, and the secretion of colostrum can be squeezed out of the breast at about the 12 weeks. What are the changes that occur during the 3rd trimester? The fetal changes, the duration is from 6 to 9 months, that is 24 to 40 weeks. The pace of growth is very active and it is accelerated. The weight of the fetus is more than the double. Bones become harder. Major nerve tracts and the brain are formed well. Fetus receives maternal antibodies. Lungs and the digestive tract finalize the development. The fetus is fully developed and is ready for delivery by the end of the 9 months. You can see a 6-month fetus developing into a complete fetus by 9 months. What are the maternal changes? The mother may exhibit backache, swelling of the hands, legs and feet because of the pressure on the veins by the developing fetus and the filled up uterus. Breathlessness because of the elevation of the diaphragm. Frequency of urination because of pressure on the bladder. Slight weight gain around 5 kg. The external genitalia also enlarges very well and prepares itself for the labor or parturition after the 3rd trimester. Here you can see a well developed fetus at the end of the 3rd trimester with the well-developed placenta. What are the breast changes that occur during the third trimester? There is increase in the size and volume of the breast, hypertrophy and proliferation of the breast glands and the ducts, increased blood supply and vascularity to the breast. The nipples become more erectile and pigmented for suckling the newborn. During pregnancy, the volume of the breast slowly increases. You can see it is by 7 weeks 293 ml, slowly it increases to 381 ml and to 398 ml in 31 weeks, and slowly increases more than 450 ml at the time of delivery. Now, what is placenta? Placenta is a feto-maternal organ. The fetal part develops from the chorion or the chorionic sac, and the maternal part develops from the endometrium of the uterus. Placenta and umbilical cord are the transport system for the fetus and the mother. What is the function of placenta? It is the protection of the fetus, nutrition to the fetus, respiration, that means exchange of gases, excretion of waste materials, and hormone production by the placenta. In this diagram you can see that from the fetus to the mother, what is exchanged? Carbon dioxide, urea and hormones. From the mother to the fetus, what is given? The nutrients, the oxygen, the antibodies, vitamins and water. What are the hormones that are released by the placenta? During pregnancy, the placenta acts as a temporary endocrine organ and produces large quantities of hormones like human chorionic gonadotropin and human chorionic somatomamotropin. This human chorionic somatomamotropin is also called human placental lactogen, and other hormones like estrogens are produced, progesterone is produced. So these hormones are produced by the placenta during the time of pregnancy. A very important hormone that is secreted is called the relaxin, which is secreted in the later phase of pregnancy. What is the function of this? It helps in the relaxation of the pelvic ligaments at the time of delivery. In addition, during pregnancy, there are various other hormones that are very important like cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, which are of increased levels in the maternal blood. They are very essential for the fetal growth as well as for the mother during delivery. Normally, a female uterus is about 3 inches long and 2 inches wide in a non-pregnant woman, but it expands to about 20 times during pregnancy. By about 2 to 3 months, the uterus is up to the pelvic brim. By 4 to 5 months, it is up to the umbilicus, and by 8 to 9 months, it reaches the diaphragm and falls forward, and the gravid uterus becomes 30 centimeter length and 22.5 centimeter breadth and 20 centimeter thick. Now, let us discuss about the stages of fetal development. What happens in 4 weeks gestation? In 4 weeks gestation, the developing embryo or the fetus is practically microscopic. What is the size? It's like a small poppy seed, 0.04 inch long to 0.13 centimeter. It is around 0.04 inch long or 0.13 centimeter. Formation of foregut, midgut, hindgut occurs. Heart starts functioning and forebrain is more prominent. Upper limbs appear as a paddle shaped buds. Here you can see how the somates are formed and the limb buds are formed. What happens in 8 weeks? The size of the fetus or embryo is half inch, that means 0.6 centimeter, develops to slowly 1 inch at the end of 8 weeks, and it weighs less than half ounce or 15 grams, and the umbilical cord becomes visible. The limbs and digits are fully formed. Movements start taking place. Neck appears between the head and the thorax. You can hear the heart beat with fetal Doppler. External genitalia show sex differences. In 12 weeks gestation, the size is 2.1 to 2.5 inches long or 6.5 to 8 centimeter. Weight is 2 to 3 ounces or 6 to 90 grams. The fetus is fully formed. Eyes and ears are well defined. Ossifation of long bones are seen. Urine formation begins. Sex organs are well developed. In 16 weeks gestation, the size is around 11 to 14 centimeter or 3.5 to 4.5 inches. The weight is 4 ounces or 120 grams. The lower limbs reach final development and the movements are seen. By 20 weeks gestation, the size is around 6 to 7 inches long, that is 19 to 21 centimeter. The weight of the fetus is around 300 grams, that means 10 ounces. The length of the fetus slowly increases. Hair on the head and the eyebrows appear. Skin becomes covered with sebaceous glands. In 24 weeks gestation, the size is around 8 to 11 inches long, that is 25 to 35 centimeter. The weight is around 600 to 700 grams. The lungs are well developed. Rapid eye movements begin. Fetus starts gaining weight excessively. By 28 weeks gestation, the size is around 14 inches or 36 centimeter long. The weight of the fetus is around 1200 grams or 1.2 kg or 2.2 pounds. The immune system starts developing. The central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord and all the nerves are well developed. The fetus opens and closes the eyes by about 28 weeks. The retina is well developed. By 32 weeks gestation, the size is around 43.2 centimeter, that is 16.8 inches. The weight is around 4.3 pounds or 1950 grams. Body weight increases rapidly. Fetus practices suckling and swallowing. Lungs are not fully developed at this time. Breathing occurs by inhaling the amniotic fluid that is present in the amniotic sac. Skin is smooth due to deposition of subcutaneous fat. In 36 weeks gestation, the fetus becomes 47 centimeters, that is around 18.5 inches. The weight is 2600 grams, that is 2.6 kgs or 5.8 pounds. The blood vessels, the heart and all the vascular system is well developed. Baby is well positioned in the pelvis with the head down position and can be delivered at this time, maybe with slight health issues. In 40 weeks gestation, the size of the fetus is around 20.2 inches long or 51.3 centimeters. The weight is around 3.4 kg or 7.5 pounds. The baby is fully formed and the baby is ready to be born any day. Here you can see a well formed baby at the end of 40 weeks with the umbilical cord, the placenta. Here you can see the entire sum up of the development of the fetus from the embryo up till the time of fully developed fetus. 1 month where the yolk sac is present, the yolk sac slowly disintegrates and the development of the limb buds, development of the eyes and the nervous system and the development of the body, gain in weight, and as the fetus develops slowly, eyes start winking, eyelids develop very well, the movement of the fetus occurs within the body and slowly the fetus is fully developed by 40 weeks for delivery. So we have completed today the human reproductive system part 8. In this we have discussed excessively about embryogenesis and the maintenance of pregnancy. Thank you very much. Kindly subscribe, like, share and comment our channel Read MedPrep Academy. Don't forget to log on to www.readmedprepacademy.com. Facebook ID is Read MedPrep Academy. Our email is readmedprepacademy@gmail.com. Don't forget to post your questions in the comment box. Thank you.